just knowing that what Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. And I pounded that in my head, like He's going to prosper me. I don't have to be walking for the Lord to prosper me, And I was with my sniper team when I got hurt. It wasn't on duty. It wasn't like a military sanctioned thing, and that's why I didn't get any military benefits. But I was with them, and we were 9.5 miles done with a Tough Mudder, and it was only 10.5 miles. I had 1 mile to go, and got hurt there. A Tough Mudder it's an obstacle course that you run in the mud, and they're 10 to 12, 13 miles long. And they say it's the toughest event on the planet. I think that's baloney, because sniper school was a Tough Mudder for 18 hours a day. Yeah. But it was still really fun, and I was covered in mud. I was wearing the mud proudly, and every time there was like a long patch of mud or whatever, I'd just like slip and slide into it, and shoot, we were cruising, We split our group up into 2 teams, and my team, we were just rolling through this thing. Trent was cramping up really bad, and we had to like stop every now and then and stretch him out. But we got through all. Like, there was one obstacle, I don't even remember what it was called, but like you go down this slide feet first into this ice pit, and it's like freaking cold because it's like 60. Well, it's probably like 75, 80 degrees outside, and then this ice, like you're like, it just puts you in shock. And that was in the first mile, and it didn't let up after that. It was crazy. But we get to the swamp stop, and it's just a pond that you walk through. Of course, walking through a pond wasn't good enough for me. There's no warning signs or anything like that to alarm me. And there's like one of my younger soldiers, specialist to beta, he dives into the water. It's like, okay, well, it's probably safe. And then I do a slip and slide into it, and there was a giant piece of concrete with rebar in it right there in the walkway, and it caught me right across the top of my head and pushed my head down into my back and shattered my 6th vertebrae. And of course, I didn't know all that at the time. I just knew that I hit my head really hard and it stunned me. And I can remember the impact and the abrupt stop, and I can remember trying to do a push-up, to get myself out of the water. Couldn't move, and I tried to like roll over, and I couldn't move. And face down in the water, I'm starting to like really figure out, like, oh crap, we're in it bad. Like, this is not good. And then my sniper team comes in and they pull me out of the water, and without the support of my 6th vertebrae, my head drops down, and it stretched my spinal cord and almost broke it. But they pulled me out, and I can remember Sergeant Goodman saying, "Get your effing legs working, Rollins," or Sergeant McCullough saying that, and he's like, "Come on, dude, let's go." And he's just trying to motivate me and like get me to come back, And they laid me under this oak tree, and I can remember how green it was. I remember everything about it. And I'm laying there, and they're like checking me out, and I'm bleeding really bad out of the top of my head. And I was like, "Y'all, just give me a minute. I'll be fine. We're almost done. I'll finish." And they're like, No, you're done. You're bleeding too bad for this. And of course, the paramedics there, or whatever, the safeties, they didn't have any medical supplies. So like, I'm bleeding out of the top of my head in the middle of this field, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop the bleeding. So these nurses come by, and they were actually doing the event, and they were trying to pack my head with napkins that they had, and they were just doing what they could to stop the bleeding. And anyway, some actual medics came over, and they were telling me to like move my toes and stuff like that, and to no avail. And I was like, oh man, because I couldn't move my hands either. I'm just laying there totally still. Went through my surgery. I called Mom before I went in. I was like, "Mom, I hit my head." She's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "Well, I'm paralyzed." And I don't remember what she said, because it wasn't long after that before I went into surgery. But that was the first time I told Mom, and she got to Tulsa, and it was a storm that night, so they couldn't bring me up to my room from surgery, so Mom's just sitting there waiting to see me. Finally, they bring me up and get to my room, and then a doctor comes in, and the first thing he says is his military career is over. And I was like, just get out. Like, that's not what I want to know. Like, I figured that. I'm not stupid. I know I'm paralyzed. I don't need a prognosis of, well, you're done being a sniper. Like, that was just a kick in the gut, man. Like, really, really did not like that, man. But so I lay there, and that's when I started what I call the terrible 10. Is the next 10 days in Tulsa were just miserable, trying to stay alive, really. Just all the different medical problems I was having was just ruining my quality of life. So that's what happened. Yeah. It was a long, long road, and I was in the best place I could have been at Craig Hospital. And it was intense rehab, 5 days a week, like 6 to 8 hours a day, and when you can't move 90% of your body and they're making you do all this stuff, you're like, golly, this is wearing me out. Building endurance. It took me like a week or so before they'd even let me get in a chair to push around. Then I had all kinds of muscle problems with the muscles I could still use because I was overusing them, because I was, everything they told me to do, I took it and ran with it, just like even just learning how to sit up on my own. Like, I was going to sit up on my own the day you told me I could. I'm here to win. Like, I'm not gonna just lay down and die. I'm 21 years old, and I'm a scout sniper. I'm a college student. My life is not done. I'm going somewhere. I'm gonna be somebody someday. And that was a hard conversation I had with my mom. We just cried, and I told her, I'm not done. Like, it's going to be different, and it's going to be hard, but I'm going to be somebody someday. Yeah. And I think I'm working on that now. In my mind, there is no limit. There's stopping points where you have to check yourself, but the only time you're limited is when you choose to quit. That's that's kind of what I think. And there are some really, really ugly days. I still have really bad days. Everybody has bad days. I got that, but when your bad day is caused because you can't even go to the bathroom on your own, and you have to use like special tools and special medicines to just go to the bathroom, and then it doesn't work, like, gosh, I just want to go to the bathroom on my own. Stuff as simple as that, stuff as human as that, and that's the biggest thing, is not feeling human, or the things that make my bad day are things that most people don't have a problem with, and I get to feeling like I'm less than human. Life was abruptly taken from me, and I'm learning how to live it again, and why not be happy? I guess what I'm striving for is to be the best that I could be, to be as strong as I possibly can with everything I've got. And I guess that's kind of a goal, but there's no quantifiable goal. My goal is not to walk again, and I'm doing therapy that could help me get to that point. But my goal is not to walk. My goal is not to, do anything extravagant. My goal is to be exactly as strong as I can be in that day, in that moment, for this person, for myself. It's just to be strong, and that's it. And if that equates to walking, great. If that equates to, making a ton of money later on in life, or equates to being broke, great. As long as I know that I was as strong as I could be every day. That's my goal. It is weird being an inspiration and helping so many people. There are 1,700 people that follow my Prayers for Tyler page on Facebook, and the first video of me standing up had 35,000 views. And
that's crazy.
That's nuts. Like, I don't know that many people. I don't know 1,700 people, but these people know me, and I guess they look up to me. and that's good. You know, I feel like if my life inspires somebody to be better, that's good. But I don't seek out being an inspiration, you know.